It's 11:33. Our clock's dying. That's why it's over here instead of on the walls. Well, it's effectively dead. It doesn't have enough battery power to get the second hand past the 8. I can shake it a little bit. You know, hold it like that so that the weight of the second hand gets over a certain point. Nope. See, once it gets past the 10, it's fine. Anyways, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is what I'm calling political humor. It is political, but it's humorous. If you are one of those people that is looking at the current United States political climate as something ridiculously serious and should not be joked about in any way, bye. See you this weekend. If you have a bunch of angst and need to be realized what's going on, I mean, there's going to be a little bit of truth-telling. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of realization here, but mostly it's going to be humorous. Because I was watching The View this morning, and what happens is they had Bernie Sanders try pizza. Because apparently the governor of New York City, or the governor of New York, the mayor of New York City, I forget who. That's sometimes just like a typical, I don't live over there, I confuse New York, NYS and NYC. That's just me. So there's the whole idea about eating pizza. And do you eat it with the back? Do you fold it up? Do you eat it with a knife and fork? Do you put condiments on top of it? I mean, technically some places have a finishing sauce, but that's like something you put on right after the oven. It's sort of, I mean, I don't know. That's neither here nor there. We're not really getting into really the pizza discussion. But it was like Kasich and that guy, the mayor or the governor, de Blasio, the hotel, whatever. That guy, apparently they ate it with a knife and fork. I've never eaten pizza with a knife and fork. I don't know why. Now, Raven, bless her soul, was actually like defending eating knife and fork. If you have some sort of like food allergy or you're a germaphobe, but nope. You eat it with your hands. If you want to hold it flat and eat it that way, that's fine. I have a lot of toppings on at least my mod pizza. It's really hard to fold it. I'll do this. I mean, if it's a pepper, if it's a New York, I've been to New York, so if it's one of the large slices that's like a quarter of a fifth to maybe even a third of the pizza, depending on what shop you go to, you do kind of got to fold it. Or it's like, what do? You go, you eat it. Do you eat it from the crust? No. No, you kind of got to hold something onto, unless it's one of those new fancy pizzas that has no crust. But about politics, we got this idea that, we're listening to what the people stand for. All right, that's cool. That's what they stand for. This is the policies they want to enact. All right, that's cool. I have been, let's see, Bush Gore. That was the first time I voted for president. And then we had Bush somebody else. Who the hell was it? Anyways, Bush got reelected. And then we had Obama and Romney. And then we had, or was that the most recent one? Whatever. And then we had, so I've had 4 presidential elections that I voted in. I was present with my mom for 2 of them, starting with Clinton. Because we were busy lives, so... No, the one I remember being president was when they had Perot in there. We were in Salem, so this is probably the first Clinton election. There's Perot and other stuff. Anyways, and then I don't know who was in the middle. I forget who was in the middle of Clinton's, because that was 96. I was like high school. I gave no craps. But then Bush after that, anyways. So, between the places that I've lived in effectively 3 cities. Since I've been able to vote. Vancouver, Troutdale, and Beaverton. And between voting for city council members, and I've lived in 3 counties, I and various different, Multnomah County, Washington County, and Clark County, I've had like pretty much a ballot every 2 years, pretty much every year, because there's like city council member person coming up. And it comes down, at least when it comes down to the non-presidential, non-city council stuff, you pretty much got one person you're voting for. So either you're putting in Papa Mother Smurf, or you're putting that person in anyways, or you're just like, oh, there is literally no choice for any position. Don't waste the ink, sort of thing. I mean, you can do that, that's fine. It's your choice. But when it comes down to like mayor of Portland, sort of thing, the mayor of Vancouver, bigger cities, mayor of Troutdale had like 3 people running. And here's what's going, because I remember voting for that one very specifically, because I thought I was going to live there forever. But it's basically that you can vote on people based on what they stand for, what political party they're a part of. That's probably the better way to do it, divide that one in half and then figure out from here, but don't do it on their policies. Don't do it on the stuff they say they're going to enact. Because by and large, they ain't going to be able to enact that stuff, because if the president was the supreme dictator, then sure. Vote for the person that's going to enact stuff, because you want those things enacted. The problem is, when we get one president, they usually have a span of where they have like, oh my god, we have a Democratic president, and we also have a Democratic Congress, and then people get pissed off that they got a Democratic president, so then they all vote for the Republicans, so then we have a Republican Congress for a long time, and then nothing gets done. The same thing happens, then we, and yeah. Then we have a Republican Congress moving into the next Republican, and everything really gets done right there, like the first couple of years. Then people are like, oh my god, we have a Republican president. And then a Democratic Congress comes in. And it's just how it cycles. And I mean, stuff gets done. Obviously, marriage equality happens. But that's the Supreme Court. The justices getting nominated, that's part of the president, but it's also part of Congress. The problem is that we have, much like it should be, a multi-person government. And you got like, you're not just basically voting for you're voting for the president. What you are voting for is who the hell you want to see tell you bad news on who do you want to see for the next 4 years in January for the State of the Union? Who do you want to tell you bad news? Because at least in America, who would you rather have explain a school shooting? Not explain, but you know what I mean. How would you... Who do you want to see shaking hands with foreign leaders? That's it. That's what it is. The president, not necessarily figurehead, does a hell of a lot of amazing things. But when it comes down to policy and what they stand for, when it comes down to abortion, guess what? I'm not sure exactly what abortion has done in the Obama. Obviously he's got the Affordable Health Care Act, and that's a debate in and of itself. And Trump wants to build a giant wall. That's a thing in and of itself. The problem is, it's like, you just think, it's sort of like, when I go through like the list of like city council members, and there happens to be like 5 people, I'm like, okay, who looks the cutest? Because that's who I'm going to have to see. The mayor of Portland. All right, that guy looks like the one I want to see on my television all the damn time. Or you've got the president. Who do I want to, give me presidential addresses? Well, that's that one. Are they going to get their stuff passed? Maybe. I don't know what the exact percentages of all the things that a presidential candidate has said they're going to enact versus what they get enacted. I don't know what the average mean percentages of all that is. I'm not going to look it up. If someone wants to look that up and put it down in the comments, go ahead. I will read it, but I ain't going to put the work in. So that's that. When it comes down to presidential candidates, you can fight over their policies and all the words that they say and all the hate speech, but when it comes down to it, it's just sort of like, who eats their pizza right? Who looks the cutest? Who seems to have the degree in the part they're looking for? Because if someone wants to become what was one recently, was last year, they wanted to become the chairperson of the Tualatin Valley Wildlife and Fish Department or something like that, because we got a lot of around here. The person had a degree in general studies from a university I'd never heard of, and I'm like, okay, so you're trying to run for that, that's cool. Or if it's like they're trying to be they're trying to run for the state attorney general. And guess what? They don't got a law degree, and they've never been a judge, and they've never even been a lawyer. They haven't even worked in a lawyer's office. Sorry. I don't care what you stand for. I don't even care what you look like. You gotta have at least some semblance of experience. So that's what that is. You know, be as superficial as you want when dealing with the candidates. You know, you don't like Ted Cruz because he got that little, like, little bird nose? That's fine. You don't like Trump because he says hateful stuff? Whatever. I see more hateful stuff on the internet. In fact, I think Trump is just reading internet comments. But I don't like his face. Just, it looks like an overcooked ham. I don't even eat ham. And Kasich, man, other Republican comments, you know, if it came down to me to pick a Republican candidate that I had to see on my television for the next 4 years, it would probably be Kasich, just based on looks. I don't want to see or hear Ted Cruz. That guy's twang in his voice pisses me off. And Trump is, whatever, he turned himself into money. And so that's just beyond all belief. Kasich seems like a really kind of genuine guy, and he looks like a normal face, normal person. When it comes down to the things, I don't really care who gets it on the Democrat thing. I will see either one of them. I've seen Hillary enough on television as is, and I wouldn't mind seeing Bernie. Because he looks like, you know, they just look like I'd want to see them on the thing. But at that, wow, I've ranted on this video. Hopefully it was humorous. If this was humorous, dude, come on. You know, if you're going to vote based on, you know, just vote very superficially, because really, the government's so big. What do you do? Bye. I will catch you guys. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's overheating.